What is up, everyone? Husskeyy here, and today is a very exciting day. It is Season 13 launch day for Apex Legends. I love new season launches, and we've got a ton of new stuff to talk about. A very interesting POI on Storm Point, a new legend in the form of Newcastle, a bunch of weapon changes, legend changes, new stuff in the care package and the replicator, just a lot of new content. So I'm very excited. The new season, the update comes out in about an hour and a half. So I thought at the time of reading this, I thought I would play some games and talk through the patch notes in advance, and then you can check out my channel for Season 13 content once it launches. So with the exception of what I'm getting from EA's website, the rest is courtesy of an article from .esports.com. Here are Apex Legends Saviors patch notes. So first up, new legend, Newcastle, which Newcastle is Jackson Williams, which is Bangalore's brother. He is a heroic defender from Gridiron, and we're going to talk through the abilities here. So his passive is Retrieve the Wounded, drag downed allies as you revive, and protect them with your revive shield. So Newcastle can... I'm just so excited to try these three abilities, but Newcastle can, similarly to what Lifeline's shield used to do. If you're new to the game, you won't know this, but Lifeline used to have a shield that popped up when the dock drone was reviving an enemy. It was incredibly strong, and also hilarious if you put it down the wrong way. I had many a Lifeline come to me when I was fighting a battle. I was downed. The enemies were on one side, and she'd walk up to me with her back to the enemies and put the shield down facing away from the enemies, which really wouldn't be very useful. But if used correctly, can be very, very useful. So this is similar. So drag down to allies as you revive them. So there's a shield that goes up, and Newcastle drags the allies away. So you can actually drag someone to cover through a doorway, behind a box, while they're being revived. That is huge. That is strong. This is shaping up, he's shaping up to be a really, really strong support legend, the likes of which we've seen in Lifeline. So this is exciting, and I know the dev team said they wanted to balance, they said it was, I think it was 9-4 offensive to defensive, and they wanted to fix that imbalance, so they brought Newcastle out. So, or at least make that imbalance better. So yeah, Retrieve the Wounded as a passive. Then we've got Tactical Mobile Shield. Throw a controllable drone that creates a moving energy shield. And this shield, as far as I understand, can be repositioned. So if you have a third party, say, that comes up on the other side, or the team you're fighting repositions themselves, you can face this mobile shield in a different direction. That is my understanding. Also huge. Much like you can pack up a rampart wall and stick it somewhere else. And then the ultimate is Castle Wall. Leap to an ally, and I love this word, leap to an ally. This makes me think of Winston's jump in Overwatch, which is what I played before Apex. So leap to an ally or target area, right, and slam down, creating a fortified stronghold. I don't know if that slam down, how kind of, you know, wild that's going to be. I don't know if it's going to do some damage to enemies. It would be hilarious if it bounced them or knocked them down, or I'm hoping at the very least stuns them. I don't know if it's going to bounce them like what Maggie's Wrecking Ball does, but stunning them would be great. But it seems like it would spook them. I hope so. But it's just going to be so fun, so satisfying, being able to leap to a target area or leap to... You see a downed ally, I'm coming for you, and then you just bounce. I wonder how far it is. It'd be hilarious if it's quite a far distance, but I doubt it. And then Fortified Strongholds, you could create a huge castle wall. If you have a look at the trailer and see how big this thing looks, it looks big enough for 2 teams to hide behind it. So it seems to have windows and things you can fight through. So yeah, some really fantastic abilities. I have to say, this legend seems to have some of, before a season launches and we get to see the legend, seems to have some of what seem to be the most interesting / exciting / seemingly impactful abilities out of the legends that have launched recently, and perhaps all the legends in the game. I mean, he seems really strong, so I'm very excited. There's a Newcastle trailer, obviously, and there's a trailer for the new season, and then there's also a Battle Pass trailer, so you can check those out. So that's Newcastle. Then we've got map changes. So Storm Point has a new POI, Downed Beast, which is primarily made of... These are spoilers, by the way, so if you have not... I would figure this would be assumed if this video is prefaced on talking about patch notes, but this will spoil major changes. A giant sea monster that the Legends defeated in the Savior's launch trailer. So have a look at the trailer if you want to see that. And you actually fight inside the downed sea monster, which seems like a very interesting POI. I think there's the Battle Pass trailer that came out now showed a whole number of battles, a whole bunch of different battles between different teams, all around the POI. So it really looks like quite a big area. You've also got, and this I think is one of the things I'm most excited about for Season 13, Imc Armories. So something with this beast kind of triggered the Imc Armories, which were buried, to pop up, some of them at least, as far as I understand. Weapons caches that will give players loot, provided they can defeat the automated Spectre units that defend these armories. They look like big Marvins, basically. They look like buff Pathfinders inside there. I think it might be the robots from the... If you saw the Loba trailer where she goes to... Oh no, never mind. That was a bunch of Revenants. Never mind. That was a bunch of Revenant copies. I've seen these Spectre units somewhere before. I'm sure I've seen them before. They just look like big boy Pathfinders. Thick Marvins. But anyway, you defeat them. So what happens is when you go inside the Imc Armory, it locks down. So you don't have other teams being able to get in while you're battling these Spectre units, which is really nice. You fight them, you win, you get the loot, and then from the trailer it looks like you can shoot out the top, so you can almost blast out of the top like a Valkyrie ult, and then fly to a different spot. So really nicely packaged. I'm very excited. I wonder how difficult the battle will be. I hope it's a bit tricky. I hope it's tests... You know, I'm really good at close quarters battles. I really hope it tests the team in close quarters with some strong PvE, rather than being just really easy, quick battle to score some good loot. Because it seems like a whole affair, so I really hope that it is a bit of a challenge. It would be hilarious to land on a map, not see any enemies, go straight to an armory, and then just die in the armory. I think that would be akin to going to Bloodhound's trials and just dying from the prowlers before you've even seen any enemies in the hopes of getting a gold backpack or something. That is truly a meme-worthy way to start the game. And then we've got World's Edge, which has also had some changes. So... changes to cover and windows around Lava Siphon, gondolas in Lava Siphon, and Climatizer will now not have as good of a chance to spawn a high tier loot on them. Interesting. So that'll be fun to check out World's Edge. And the map rotation, so it'll be Storm Point, Olympus, and World's Edge. So King's Canyon is out of the rotation for this season. So that's cool. That's cool. And I was concerned that with the rework of Storm Point, they would make it that we would have to play exclusively on Storm Point, which is my least favorite map. I'm not sure if it will be after the changes, but just because of the size and wandering around and not finding enemies much, quite often. So nice to see that we've still got 3 maps in the rotation. I do find myself going online playing for 1 to 3 hours, depending on, sometimes I'm lucky and I'll come on at the start of King's Canyon, Olympus, King's Canyon, and then when Storm Point starts, I'll just log in. So, not sure if anyone else does that. Let me know if you do. Weapon changes. So the Spitfire is back in the ground loot. That's exciting. And obviously it's been nerfed because it's coming out of the care package. Spitfire will no longer accept barrel stabilizers. That's an interesting change. And then the bunch of LMGs are getting nerfs. So Rampage, Devotion, L-Star, all getting handling nerfs. All LMGs except the Rampage will get reduced headshot multipliers. Interesting. The Rampage is going into the Replicator. Okay, so you're going to be able to craft the Rampage along with one of my favorite weapons in the game, the R301. So immediate reaction to that was, oh no, the R301 is out of the ground loot. But then seconds later, oh, fantastic, this is an even easier way potentially of getting an R301. So if you really enjoy that weapon like I do, now you know, instead of having to hunt around for it and ask your teammates, you just go straight to the Replicator and make one. Then we've got the Flatline and the Longbow, which were previously in the Replicator, are now back on the ground loot. Those are not quite far away from being some of my favorite weapons, so that doesn't really make too much of a difference for me. As is the Rampage, actually, so that going into the Replicator also doesn't make too much of a difference for me. But the Carbine is cool. Then, yeah, it just mentions that the changes to the LMGs are aimed at lowering how powerful LMGs have become in recent times, with large magazine sizes and simple recoil patterns. Then the Mastiff is replacing the Spitfire in the care package. The Mastiff's going in the care package. I'm extremely excited about this for two reasons. One, a care package Mastiff just sounds like a beast, right? It's going to have the dual shell hop-up built in, and it's already just such a great weapon. If you're ADSing, the damage that you can do at close range with the Mastiff is just insane. There's a reason why Maggie likes it so much. But the second reason is personal, and that is that I've recently really started enjoying the Peacekeeper again. And so if I hadn't, I would have said, oh, you know, what a disappointment to be losing the Mastiff for this season. However, it actually doesn't make that much of a difference to me because I've got a PK, I've got my trusty Mozambique still. Yeah, notice I haven't really spoken about the Eva because we just leave that one on the ground. Not such a fan. But yeah, that'll be cool. The Kraber's gotten a nerf to headshot damage. The Mozambique and Peacekeeper get slight buffs to limb damage. That's very cool. And this is a big one because I've also recently gotten into energy weapons, and especially the Havoc. The Havoc gets a buff to its recoil pattern as well. The articles, there's a little buff. So we'll see. So that's very cool because I've got a crypto and energy weapons video that's going to come out soon. And I've really enjoyed using the Havoc. I think it was dual wielding Havocs at one point. And the dual shell hop up for the Massive and 3030 repeater has been removed from ground loot and crafting rotations. So it's only built into the Mastiff in the care package. Not sure why they would have taken it away from the repeater. That's interesting. And I wonder then when the Mastiff comes out, I guess it'll just, yeah, I wonder if it'll go away permanently when the Mastiff comes back out. That'll be interesting to see in Season 14. Legend changes. So, one of the biggest changes will be a nerf to the Fortified passive. A passive, so that's the passive that characters with larger character models get. So Gibraltar, Caustic, and the article says possibly Newcastle as well. Fortified reduces the damage taken by those characters. This is to balance out the fact that the character model is larger, so the hitbox is larger, but they take slightly less damage because they're easier to hit. So in Season 13, this damage reduction will not apply to headshots. Okay, so that's the nerf. So they've still got damage reduction, just not to headshots. I'm okay with this. Valkyrie gets a nerf specifically aimed at changing the way she's played in late matches and at the highest levels of the game. So she can no longer freely spin while launching during Skyward Dive, her ultimate, making her and her team much more susceptible to being shot out of the sky. So I've seen the spinnies. I don't do the spinnies myself, but I've seen this in the game, and yeah. I don't play it much as Valk. I play her on Olympus because she's great for rotating around the map easier. But yeah, we'll see how much difference that makes. I'm assuming that's going to make quite a difference in ranked matches. I don't play ranked. Yes, and then also, this is a fairly big thing. Nobody is going to be able to... Characters are not going to be able to use any abilities, weapons, or healing items while out of bounds. So when you're out of the playable area, you cannot do any of that stuff. And that's, the article mentions, an indirect nerf to Valkyrie. So I think I've done that once or twice. You know, you're on a mountain, you're sliding down, you quickly heal, or you're shooting at enemies on the way down. So obviously people were using Valkyrie to blast up into the sky, go on top of a mountain, drop down on the enemies, or get some shots on the enemies while they were outside the playable area. So this is a fix to that kind of situation, especially in the late game. I would imagine it's very handy. Rampart gets a buff. So her amped... Rampart gets a buff. So her amped cover, her tactical, and Sheila, the ultimate, are getting improved charge-up times. So that's pretty big. And the walls are beefier. So they're getting a health buff from 45 to 120. So over double the amount of damage that they will take to be destroyed. That's big. That is big. And I think of a... immediately thought of a YouTuber that I really enjoy watching, Gaming Merchant. You should check out his channel. He, I think Rampart is his favorite, so I'm sure he'll be elated at that announcement. And yeah, that is basically it in terms of what the article has to say about the patch notes. So yeah, some exciting stuff. We've got a care package Mastiff that you might be lucky enough to lay your hands on. We've got Newcastle, a new legend, and a big increase to the defensive or support roster. We've got some really cool new things to check out on Storm Point. Hopefully bring some new energy to Storm Point, so big, interesting POI. The down east, we've got the artilleries, where you can do some PvE battles for some special loot. Some changes to World's Edge, and a new map rotation, and then we've got the Carbine. We've got the R301 in the Replicator, which is pretty cool. So quite a lot of changes, some weapon changes. We've got a Rampart buff, we've got a Valkyrie nerf. There's a lot going on in Season 13. And yeah, I will be showcasing all of it in what is now less than an hour. I'll be making some videos, and I hope you enjoy checking out Saviors Apex Legends Season 13. Battle Pass skins look pretty cool as well. There's kind of an armored kind of medieval knight kind of theme to it. The Bloodhound one looks crazy. Very, very cool. So yeah, I don't subscribe to Battle Pass, but I like seeing all of these new design changes. And yeah, subscribe for more content. I would love to share Season 13 with you. Thank you for checking out my videos, and enjoy the new season. Bye for now.